Alrighty, guys, how is it going, everybody? It is your boy Marcus, the Lovision Snap Player, welcoming you guys back to a brand spanking new vid. Today, I've got a little blog I want to read off for you guys, talking about everything that's gonna go down in 2026, like future plans and stuff like that. And this blog actually dropped like sometime last year. I originally discovered it like on Facebook and stuff, and then I also found it on their X page, or formerly known as Twitter. And now they put it out on the Marvel Snap website. Although one thing I should let you know, if you can obviously open this through the app, but one thing I should warn you about is that you cannot exit. They gotta fix that. That's a problem, because let me show you. If you're gonna read it through the app, just be careful, because you're not gonna be able to exit. Like when you go through some of the other tabs, it works fine, but it's just this specific one where you can't close it out. So just forewarning before if you have the game open and you want to check it out, just be aware of that. And if you want to get back to the game, you just gotta close it. Let me show you guys what I mean. So if I click on this tab right here, you see where it says Foundational Focus? If I click on this, watch. It has nowhere to exit. It's basically... Oh no, it's just Safari. Okay. No, yeah, basically there's no other way to get out of here. You're basically just in the Marvel Snap website, but there's no way to exit. So make sure... So just be careful of that. In fact, I would probably open up the Marvel Snap website on like your Safari or Google, whatever you use, and just view it on there versus trying to do it on the app, because then it'll kind of be locked out. But anyways, I'm not going to read through this whole thing word for word, but I'll at least pick out some good points and kind of share with you guys my thoughts on this. And yeah, so first of all, so the thing says, it's 2026 and we want to share where we're headed this year. It starts with strengthening the game's foundations, like the Future Foundation Marvel Snap's core system. Or no, like the Future Foundation. Marvel Snap's core systems are overdue for some work under the hood, and this is the year we do it. Our goal is simple: build a more stable, more responsive, and more efficient game with fewer crashes, fewer bugs, and more room to build a brighter future. A bright future full of bigger and better stuff for you to enjoy. That's really good. Because, yeah, I'm not going to lie, even though I'm playing it on mobile, it is a buggy mess. A lot of things don't load. Don't load properly and stuff like that, and it's not the best experience. But even then, though, the game is still really fun. But then it says 2025 is a big pivot. Oh boy, last year, guys, was kind of crazy. Us Marvel Snap players went through a ton of stuff. We went through the snapping, the US downtime, and that's what it's talking about right here. In fact, I actually made a video or a YouTube short covering this. I think I put it on my main channel. But this was legit scary. Like, honestly, this was crazy. But it says 2025's big pivot. If you were around the last January, you probably remember the US downtime, aka the snapping. I guess that's what they're calling it. But But yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. And it literally was like scary. Now, to kind of explain why Marvel Snap ended up getting shut it down for a couple days, is back in January last year, there was like this whole mess with TikTok and I guess the friggin' company that manages TikTok or something called ByteDance. I guess that because the publisher for this game was not just Second Dinner, it was Newverse. Second Dinner was the company that worked on the game, but Newverse was the one that published it. And I guess that Newverse was tied to this ByteDance company, and because of that, the game ended up getting removed from the App Store and Google Play stores and stuff. Like, you couldn't even download it. Even at the time, you couldn't even play the game. Like, it was a scary moment. But luckily, as a way to say they're sorry, they hooked us up. And I mean, really, Second Dinner hooked us up with some really good rewards. Like, let me show you guys the short. This is everything. And I actually used some of that stuff to get the last 2 spotlight catches for that week. If you guys remember, if you're a Marvel Snap player and you played last year, you might remember we were still in the spotlight keys and catches era. But yeah, basically, who was it during that week? I think it was Ares. I know Ares because this was during Dark Avengers. But it was Ares, and I think Misery was a part of it of that week. So I ended up using my tokens to pretty much get a bunch of those spotlight keys. But this is everything that you got as a compensation, which is crazy. You got a bunch of medals for the shop, which for the console shop. I think at some point they're gonna have to do away with like, it's a decent mode, but it's like I don't see myself playing it at all. But here's the thing: if you convert the spotlight key, because one spotlight key is like the equivalent of 6,000 or not 6,000. Dang. 6,000 tokens for one spotlight key? No. One spotlight key was worth 3,000 tokens. So, the fact that you got 2, I guess it varied depending on what your collection was, or collection level was, but I ended up getting 2 spotlight keys, which converts to 6,000, almost a 2,000, but it's 6,000 collector's tokens. And then on top of that, I think you got another 5,000? So that's 11,000 tokens, man. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely could have saved it for snap packs, but at the time, I snap packs were the thing. I didn't even think snap packs were going to be a thing because, well, I don't look at leaks for seasons that haven't even been released yet. It's like sometimes I'll see content creators that are showing seasons that, like a new season that's like a month away, and I'm like, do I want to watch it? Because then I'm just spoiling it for myself. It doesn't feel right. I'm not a big fan of looking at leaks for, like, especially when it comes to gaming, because it defeats the purpose of having presentations like a Pokemon Presents or a Nintendo Direct. And I know leaks are basically just like rumors, but still, man, it's like, why should I follow a bunch of rumors that are not even going to be true? And it's like, it makes no sense to me. I would rather just. That's why if I'm gonna follow any game, I'm following their official account. I'm not following some random leaker. I can wait for a Nintendo Direct. I can wait for the Marvel Snap developer update or the next blog. I'm fine without looking at leaks. Like that's just me. Like I just don't see the point. Like, and I almost question are many people just impatient? Do y'all not like to wait for these companies to put out their presentations? Because like I said, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. You're looking at these leaks, getting getting all these high expectations, and then the direct comes and you get slapped in the face with like, oh, you've been proven wrong. Like, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't trust leaks. But anyways, as I was saying, like this is like if Snapbacks would have came like sooner, like maybe the February season, man, this would have been huge. I could have already been pulling some serious packs already. But regardless, though, it was still pretty good for them to be. Pretty nice of them to be pulling out a bunch of that during that time. But it was definitely scary. But that wasn't the only thing, though, because trust me when I say this, 2025 had some kind of good, but also, like, controversial, like, moments. In particular, the whole Kid Omega situation. I'm sure some of y'all Marvel Snap players right now are just like, don't remind me of that. And I do apologize. But yeah, back in June of last year, they did something that was outright just a terrible decision. So I'm not going to try to go too big into detail because I want to try to cover the rest of this. But what they did was they released High Voltage Overdrive, which was a limited time game mode. And in order to get the new card, Kid Omega, it wasn't like, oh, you could just get him through the track. What they did was you needed these things called, I think, was it just volts? I think it was just volts. So you would collect those volts that you can use to go through the shop and buy stuff. If you wanted to get Kid Omega, you needed 50,000 volts. But here's the thing, on that track, you couldn't get enough, and you would have to grind a lot to not even be close. And it's like, instead of, you're like paying it, you're not playing to get the card, you're playing to reduce the price of how much gold. Yes, you actually have to spend gold to get that card. And if I remember correctly, Regis Kilbin, one of my favorite Marvel Snap creators, the dude ended up spending $100 just to get that card. That was so bad. That was just complete. That was the worst move they could have ever made. Luckily, they haven't been doing that now, which is good. Now it's like you have now you can still get the cards via the event pass and stuff. So that's good. I'm glad they learned from that because Second Dinner felt the wrath of the community. Like, it got so bad to the point where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to associate myself with this game mode. I am not touching it. I am not going to support a game mode that has a bad practice like that. No, sir. Like, as much as I love Marvel Snap, man, if they pull that again, that's just gonna drive me insane, y'all. Because that was a rough moment of 2025. And then they also, like, in July, introduced adding a card to the Super Premium Season Pass, which was kind of like, it was like cool, but also like I don't know. When they did it for the first time, I kind of had mixed feelings for it. I'm like, because the thing is, before all the super premium season pass was is like, yeah, you're getting the 10 boosters and some borders, or the 10 free levels and some borders, but it's like, why would I get it for like a variant that I know I'm not going to use, right? It didn't really, like, I was fine with just buying the base pass, but now that the super premium pass has been out, it's like, it's honestly far better value. But anyways, I gotta try to move on here. But yeah, just going back into the whole snapping situation, that was crazy. But so we got a list of what does a publisher actually do? Questions. In short, the studio builds the game. The publisher helps the game succeed through marketing. All that stuff. It says it wasn't only publishing work. The cards are the whole game. They're the heart of Marvel Snap. That is an absolute fact. Like, the fact that this game keeps getting so much cards is like crazy. And depending on who you ask, that could be good or bad. In my opinion, I think that's great. It keeps the game fresh, and it gives me a reason to come back in and play. You know, it's like, even if I don't end up copying the new card for that week, it's like, it's great to see them releasing more. And it's like, if I want to go for that card, I'll go for that card. If not, hey, that's fine. That's what the Snap Pack system is for. It allows you to have that flexibility of like, you've got this new shiny thing that you can go for, or you can try to get one of the older cards that you're missing. In fact, on my Series 5 collector's pack side of things, I'm still missing a bunch of Series 5 cards. And a ton of them are from last year, too. So, yeah, I definitely, like, not necessarily have catching up to do, because, there's no rush, but I do still have quite a bit of Marvel Snap cards I still had to experience. But yeah, these are like the main focus of this game, which makes sense. It's a card game. But yeah, if you take a look at my collector Series 5 pack, recently I did end up. Now it's just. I was kind of, it was kind of a scary feeling. I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's not to start saving more. But now I'm like, you know what, maybe this might not be too bad, because I can at least get focus on, because there's a lot of these. From last year. So, like Colonel America, Zombie Season, Cosmic Ghost Rider was from August. Let's see. Oh, this dude, Elixir. This dude was from May season, which I'm gonna be honest, New X-Men was kind of mid. The new X-Men season from last year was pretty mid, and so, yeah. With the hat, there was some mid cards. Heck, there's still a couple from January that I'm missing. I still don't have yet. Lin Lee Iron Fist I'm also missing. And then still missing a few from this year, but that's okay though. It's not like I'm trying to be collection complete anyways. But just wanted to show you that. Last year we added around 100 new cards. 100 new cards. That is insane. That is absolutely crazy. Last year we added around 100 new cards. And the goal wasn't just more cards. We wanted each one to feel like it had its own job, not just float around as filler. Oh no, man! Every single card, it's like if you make the ability and cost right, it could be a really good banger. But if you make a card like Magus, that's going to be hard. Even when they made Magus a 2-cost card, he still is just so hard and complicated. Like, I know I've said Cobra and Zombie Galactic were the worst cards in Marvel Snap, but Magus might take the cake as the actual worst card in Marvel Snap. And, like, for as long as I've been playing the game, like, doesn't matter. Even if you make him a 1-cost card, his ability is still trash. But then it also says, we learned a few big things. Players want new gameplay. Whether it's weird rules and limited time game modes or brand new mechanics. Players are hungry for things that feel fresh. Not just slightly different numbers. Yes, that is true. And it's like the more, and like I said before, that's the reason why I keep coming back to this game, because they're constantly adding things to make this game fresh. That's why with a lot of these other mobile games that I've played before, I'll play them for a bit, but then I'll delete them because it's just like eventually there's just nothing that says, hey, come play this game. Keep playing this game. Marvel Snap just keeps adding more, even if the game modes don't necessarily do it and the cards do. It's like, that's what I want, man. Give me more. Give me a reason to keep playing these games, man. Like, I want something that I can consistently play for years to come. And look where I'm at. I'm literally about to be, like, this upcoming May is about to be, like, my third year, right? Because 23 to 24. Yeah, that's 3 years of playing this game, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, then it says, next one says, making a totally different archetype is harder now. The card pool is bigger, decks are more refined, and players optimize fast. So if a new card is supposed to create a whole new deck type, the bar is higher than it used to be. Returning characters hit best when they hit different. They land when there's a clear hooker gameplay twist that makes you go, oh, that's cool. That's true. Like, especially when they do the season trailers, it's like, man, if I see something that's really awesome, I'm like, shoo, that looks insane. Like, with Iska, like, when they showed Iska the Unbeaten's ability, I'm like, oh, dang, this card's already going to be crazy. Which I have been testing it a bit, and it is pretty good, but there have been cases where it hasn't really helped me win a bunch of matches yet. But maybe I gotta still figure out her decks to really figure that card out. But if we talk about Manspider, though, oh my, I am surprised they still haven't nerfed that card, man. It's just that good. A 5-cost 1-power card that can just keep doubling its power every time you merge with something. That is literally broken. But then it says, on the game mode side, we made a big jump in 2025, going from 2 to 6 limited time game modes. The variety feels strong and the cadence is in a solid place. That is insane, though. From 2 to 6 limited time game modes. That's crazy, because now the game modes that we have that are cycling, we have Deadpool's Diner, which, let's be real, I think Deadpool's Diner is kind of like the least common game mode. Sanctum Showdown, High Voltage, the regular version, High Voltage Overdrive, which was that to say? So there, Deadpool's Diner, Sanctum Showdown, regular High Voltage, High Voltage Overdrive, Grand Arena, and then Team Clash. 6 game mode. That's huge, and that's good. And then one bigger win that we expected was pre-built decks. And then card acquisition. Better with room to grow. Yes, see, this is another point here. We're already getting into the 30-minute mark, but it says card acquisition better with more room to grow. Okay, quick check-in on card acquisition, because this is where a lot of the how to Snap feel day to day lives. We've been working to improve this system so it feels better for players, including providing them with real choices in which packs to go after and which cards to prioritize. I've got some thoughts to say. In fact, when I made the honest thoughts on Marvel Snap vid, I kind of already touched on this. But, like, did I? I think I did, yeah. But basically, while I do like the snapback system, the snapback system has been really good. The fact that you can now target which packs you want to go for, and even just like the individual cards, that's great. But there is one issue that has nothing to do with the system itself, but it's the currency, the tokens. See, the thing when it comes to tokens is that tokens are like a rare currency. Like, let me give you guys an example. So, if you've played My Singing Monsters, you'll know that you've got your gold, your diamonds, and then you're like the shards. Obviously, there's like the star points and then the keys, but we're not gonna count those. The credits, so it's gonna be your diamonds, gold, and your shards. Let's say that one update, My Singing Monsters was like, you know what? We're gonna make all the monsters on like the common islands require shards, right? So I don't have the game. Well, yeah, I don't have the game right now, and plus, it would be hard to show. But essentially, like, if you go to islands like Bone Island, where you'll need to pay to like spend like thousands of gold to get one of the single element monsters. Imagine having to pay shards, man. And here's the thing. The shards are not easy to get. Like, honestly, shards are a pain in the butt to get in My Singing Monsters, man. Even though I have like 2 ethereals plus the dipsters, and then also the ethereals in the workshop island, that's still a lot of grinding. That still doesn't solve the fact that shards are just really hard. And if you wanted to get to some of those islands, you need like ridiculous amount of shards, and even upgrading gets pricey. So it's like, imagine how you would feel if they decided to require you to pay friggin' 4,000 shards for a single element monster on Bone Island. I'm sure that would probably drive you nuts, especially if you're a new player. So, going back to Snap, it's like there needs to be more ways to get tokens. I mean, sure, you've got the event passes in your Grand Arenas and Sanctum Showdowns, but that's not good enough. That is not good enough. What they need to do is make tokens more common and credits, because let me show you. Look at the ways you can earn credits in the game. It's insane. It is insane the amount of ways you earn credits. And the thing is, they don't even serve that much of a purpose other than upgrading your cards. I apologize, headphone users, if I'm being a bit loud. But they do not serve that much of a purpose. They do. This is all like watch. Just kind of little credits. This is all they do. This is what they're used for. That's it. Just to progress. And look, so many credits. And then on top of that, you get credits from here. Look. From over here, you get credits in the season pass. Look it. You get credits in the season pass. And then you also get your 5th day, and another 100 credits from the Marvel Snap web shop. You have so many ways to get credits, but you don't have a lot of ways to get tokens. What needs to happen is, and I hope they do look into this at some point, but what they need to do is potentially but at least the collection track. This is what they could do. They could keep they can keep the daily missions with credits, right? But then on the collection track, you replace all of these credit amounts here, and you replace them with tokens. Right? So right now, like, see, you get 50 credits. Imagine if they convert that into 50 tokens. Like, the 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500. Then you get your next batch. Your batch of 3 token tokens. So now you're at 3,500. Okay, I'm counting right. 3,550, 3,600, 3,650, 3,700, 3,750, 3,800, 3,850, 3,900, 3,950, 4,000. Then you get your next batch of 3. Now you're at 7,000, which means now you can afford to buy a snap pack. You can afford to buy a Collector Series 5 pack, or depending on where you're at, if you don't have all of your Series 4 cards, you can get a Collector Series 5 and a Collector Series 4 pack. Or, no, a Seasonal Series 5 and a Collector's Series 4 pack. Or you could buy a Collector's, or you could buy a regular card, like an individual card. Right? So just think about it. You, like, 7,000 tokens is a huge deal. And now it's like, you can just keep going. 7,050, 7,100, 7,150, 7,200, 7,250, 7,300. You see how much tokens you could rack up with this? I mean, obviously you're gonna have to upgrade a bunch of cards, but it's going to be worth it. When you save up all your tokens, this is going to be a big change. But even if they don't do this, and we're still going to be using credits, make credits a second option. Credits should be a second option. Maybe, for credits, you do like half of what you're paying in tokens. So, for example, if I'm paying, let's say for this season of Series 5 pack, you could choose to either pay the full 5,000 in tokens, or maybe you can pay 2,500 in credits. Same can be said with the seasonal. You can do kind of the same thing with the seasonal Series 4s, even though I have them all complete. You can pay, let's go with, like 1,500. You could do 1,500 in credits. Then you come down here. Instead of paying 4,000 tokens, you can pay 2,000 in credits. And then so on. Instead of paying, like for the Collector Series 4, instead of paying 2,000 in tokens, you can pay 1,000 in credits. And then so on and so forth, right? So just think about that as well. I feel like that could even be, even if they don't incorporate a lot of ways to earn tokens, but credits are still prominent, that's like the best way to do it. Because then for players who maybe ran out of tokens, have tons of credits to spare, they can throw them down in here. That would be perfect. So card acquisition, it's good, but I think as far as like getting the currency to buy the snap packs, could be better. Gotta be honest, it could be better. That's the spotlight variants. That said, the biggest complaint we still hear is pretty consistent. Catching up to the meta is tough. If you're new, if you're coming back from a break, even if you're doing everything right, it can feel like you're always a step behind. Which, yeah, it does make sense. And again, going back to the whole token situation, with the lack of tokens, it's like, how do you expect players to catch up? Because not every player is going to buy those ridiculously big bundles for 10,000 gold or something. Not every player is like that. You know, so it's like the tokens are like, they either start being more common or you start adding something in place where you give players an alternative so that they can use the credits that they have. We agree that's not where we want things to stay. We're working on ways to improve that in 2026, which is good. I really hope they do improve stuff like that. New year, new focus. I promise you guys, try to keep things going here because we're already about to hit the 40-minute mark. But this is quite a bit to talk about. But 2026 is about the foundation. And then we got a bunch of this. Cool, but how does this affect me? Even though you won't see tech debt cleaned up as a flashy feature, you feel it when you play. So they have a little thing that shows what to expect for this year. Systems upgrades. Fewer performance issues. All that stuff like that. Which is pretty good. But if we scroll down a bit, they're talking about seasons. Now, they're not going to give out all the information yet. But let's be real. I know a lot of you people, I know gamers love following leaks, which, going back to what, I did say that leaks were kind of pointless. But anyways, that's the point. So, right here are the names for all of they're not final, but these are what the names for each of the seasons are going to be in 2026. And I'm going to kind of give you guys my thoughts on each. So for next month, we're getting an X-Men End of Days, which kind of feels like we're going to get like a post-apocalyptic world, or like a future we'll go with that, a post-apocalyptic world. Hence the name End of Days. That seems kind of interesting. For May, we've got a new Daredevil Crimson Twilight season. June is going to have a Beach Bash season. Then we get to July, and I don't know if y'all realize this, but check out what July season is. Spider-Man Brand New Day. I guess it's for the new movie coming out. But here's the thing. We just got a Spider-Man season last year in November. Arachnid Anarchy. And wait, doesn't even end there. We also got one a year before that. The Amazing Spider season. Is this going to be a common theme now, where we're just going to get one Spider-Man themed season every year? Because I'll be expecting that now. But I'm just like, what? We're getting another Spider-Man themed season? Really? I mean, I'm sure the cards are going to be banging, but I'm just like, feels like they just made one last year and the year before. For August, we're getting Fractured Frontier. Ooh, that one sounds interesting. September, Axis Inversion. Sounds like another like Weapon X theme season. And then October, so the ones with the like little asterisk, those aren't like confirmed or final, but this one's called Zombies vs. Vampires, which hopefully that means they're revisiting the Horde mechanic and potentially making it a lot better. And then for November, we've got Defenders of Avalon, and then December, Avengers Doomsday. And that's pretty much all the potential seasons coming up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So they're just talking about seasons and all that stuff. And then they're just saying like a big thank you. So there it is, y'all. My apologies if this video felt like a long time. But I thought it would be kind of... I thought I would kind of share this with you guys. To kind of share my overall thoughts on this article. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do going forward. I really hope and pray they do not pull a Kid Omega, because they know how that went. Second dinner, y'all better not pull a Kid Omega. Y'all don't do it. Don't do it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.